We are now at chapter 16, verse 32. Better a patient man than a warrior, a man who controls his temper than one who takes a city. Well, this is good because I'm unfortunately not a warrior. And sometimes it is necessary to have the courageous, the bold, and the strong, but we shouldn't be seeking violence. And yes, sometimes violence is a solution, and the necessary solution in a sinful world where there are those who will act to destroy. And so we do have wonderful people who put their lives on the line to protect our country. But you want to start with the patient man. And it is a better situation if you can wait something out, if you can not have aggravation cause you to react, if you can give time for tempers to cool and for people to think about what's going on, that's much better. Okay? If you can control your temper, and then your relationship with those around you tends to be positive. And as earlier it says, then you tend to dampen down these outbursts of emotion. And so that's the sort of person we should seek to be. Not one who reacts quickly, only reacting quickly in an emergency, but one who takes a deep breath, thinks about things, and tries the best to be peacemakers. Because blessed are the peacemakers, as we heard in the Beatitudes. Let's go on to 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read my footnote here from the study Bible. Here the lot may have been several pebbles held in the fold of a garment and then drawn out or shaken to the ground. It was commonly used to make decisions. And I'm not advising you, and really Proverbs is not advising you to use random choice in most of your decisions. But Solomon is saying that God is in control. That we are not really the ones in control. It may look like that we have those things in our hands in this, in this description. And you can't see my shirt. I'm going to do a shirt up here. Don't see my belly. Right, in our shirt right here, we have the lots. So it's in our hands. It may look like it, but the lot is shaken about. It's not really controlled by you and me unless you're an expert sleight of hand person. It's God who finally controls it. So there's a lot of things in life which we think we control. We think we, can determine when we have children. You can't. God determines when you have children. We think we can control whether we have health care. Well, ultimately, that's not reliable. You can talk about its reliability. Ultimately, God determines whether you're going to be healthy or not. And we do have sin and these things which cause horrible occurrences to happen. They're not things we seek out or that we blame God for. But God could have stopped them from happening. And he uses those horrible things, those trials, a hurricane presently hitting down in Texas and Louisiana. He uses those according to his plans. And all the safety they built in against these hurricanes, and this vast hurricane comes up and strikes them anyway. So what Solomon is saying is don't overlook at your ability to control things. You do put your dependence on the Lord. You do trust in him. And that's actually freeing. And that actually allows you to act in ways which do build up better things in this life presently to lead to a future, not just an eternal future, but a future here and now, where you follow the designs of God and trust that those will work for good now as well as in the future. And when they don't, you say, well, it is in God's hands, and he'll use this situation for good. So it actually frees us up to do things which involve planning and preparation. Well, I want children. What do? I get married first. I find a good spouse who believes the same things I do. Well, then it's good to have children. Oh, I want my health to be well taken care of into my old age. What do? Well, I work hard and I continue to set aside things for the future. And I do go to those with gray hair who wisely help me out. And I go to those with knowledge and I follow their advice. And I listen and I hear others' opinions. Right? We do these things because we trust in the Lord, and he said these are good things to do, right? That's one of the things we're seeing here in Proverbs, is how to do those things. But ultimately, we're not in control. We may be holding those lots in our lap, but we still don't control them. We come to our 17th chapter. Better a crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. I enjoy getting together with my family, which I have married into. I enjoy getting together with them at various holidays. But I would not enjoy getting together with them if the exes were all present. That's just a fact. Okay? And that would be a very unpleasant situation. Understandably so. So when we gather together in the church and our fellowship over here, I really enjoy being at this church, this congregation, and being over in Waverly. I really enjoy it in part because they get along very well. There may be a little strife, but it's handled well. And so we can feast on the Lord's body. We can feast on his word. And this is a good thing. And this really strengthens our community. It strengthens our families. It strengthens us together. And this is better than if we were gathered together and we were constantly conflicting over politics right now. Right? And really, politics are not a necessary, in some cases, part of the church service. Right? We're dealing with God's word. There are certain things that God speaks against. The murdering of the unborn would be one. Sin and sex outside of marriage, this is another. And certainly sometimes this goes into politics or the fact that God created man and woman. But I don't get together and say, you should vote for this candidate or that candidate and cause those strife. And it wouldn't be good if we did. There's places for that, but it's certainly not when we're feasting on the word of the Lord, when we're coming together in joy at the great salvation God has given. Now that has a different place. And so it is better that when we gather to feast, when we gather to be strengthened by these gifts of God, that we do it in unity. We're going to continue at chapter 17 in the next video.